Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thorough Newspaper Analysis, which is brought to you by Losico. So, here we have one article for discussion from the Indian Express. The title of this article is Women in Nepal Growing Voice Now Against Proposed Restriction. So, Nepal government has come up with some really arbitrary law wherein they have said that women who are below the age of 40 years, and if they want to do any kind of international travel, so they'll have to get some affidavit kind of signed from the family and stuff like that, so which is really very arbitrary to the rights of the women and even to the human rights in totality. So we'll be discussing about that. And secondly, please mind, in the second, we have the news and flash column for a prelims exam. So if you're preparing for judicial services examination, do have a look at the lot of the courses, which is the judicial test prep course from LawSeco. So the link to this course is available in the description box below, and also you can download free study material for your own help in preparation. You can have a look at our other courses like CLAT, All India Bar Exam, SEBI, etc. Also, we have a latest edition, which is the limited insolvency examination from IBBI. So you can have a look at this too. So this is the multiple choice question from day before yesterday's discussion. Lozar, recently seen in news, is, your options are an ancient fossil, a Tibetan New Year, a saltwater lake, or none of the above. This is the descriptive question of the day. Discuss what provisions does the Indian Constitution have for the upliftment of women. So here, a proposed law, law has been proposed currently that puts restrictions on foreign travel for women below age 40 is being opposed in Nepal. So basically, this is something really, really very arbitrary, because if we look at the condition which we have in India, so the people, specifically if we talk about the women, they're completely free to travel. We have freedom of movement as well. It's one of our fundamental rights, and otherwise also there is no restriction at all, specifically on the the grounds of gender, on that is on the grounds of sex, that any particular woman who is below the age of something or something, there is absolutely nothing, at least in the case of traveling. But Nepal assembly has, or the Nepal government has come up with this entire proposal that any woman below the age of 40 years, if traveling abroad, needs to present a letter of consent from her guardian, who here in a way will be the guardian. He'll be implying the male member or ward of the office. So either the male member of a family, or from the ward office of the state. So she'll have to acquire a complete written consent from her guardian. So you can really understand that even after she becomes an adult, that is after 18 years of age, still if she has to move or travel to any foreign country, she has to do any kind of international travel, she has to get this affidavit or a consent letter signed from the guardian or the ward office. So definitely it is arbitrary completely whatsoever. So let's also talk about the political crisis that is going on in Nepal currently. So the Prime Minister of Nepal, KP Sharma Oli, has dissolved the House of Representatives 2 years before it completes its term. So before even the complete election period could have ended, the complete tenure of the House of Representatives could have ended. So he has before that only he has dissolved it completely. And the legality under review in Nepal Supreme Court, and the legality of this is still under review in the Nepal Supreme Court. The government gave only 2 cabinet seats for women, despite their one-third representation in parliament. So there, the women are representing the parliament in totality. One-third of the members are women, but still, when we talk about the cabinet seats, now even like if we talk about who are the cabinet ministers, these are the the central executive, the most important ministers are the cabinet ministers. So basically they are the real executive, in the real nature the cabinet ministers are the executive. So similarly Nepal also, but despite one-third representation of women in the parliament, only 2 seats have been given to women in the cabinet. So the government is under severe criticism for failing to bring justice to those guilty in large number of rape cases. So even if we talk from various ends, if we talk from the political ends, so this is the very issue going on, that only 2 cabinet seats have been allotted to the women. If we talk from the social end, then there are a lot of pending rape cases in Nepal, and there is huge criticism going on against the government, but it has still failed to bring justice to the ones to the justice, and to to give any kind of punishment to those who are guilty of these large number of rape cases. and 1,271 cases in the last 10 months were there, which were, and out of which 805 were against minor women. Yeah, that is why minor girls. So the situation over there is really bizarre, because from the side of political, the political end, the social end, and even, if we talk about from individualistic rights and basic human rights as well, the situation is in a huge crisis. So why at all such law has been, the Nepal entire system over there is at all thinking to bring such law. So large number of Nepali women are trafficked to Middle East. Basically what happens is that many a times they are trafficked without their consent, and many a times what happens is that they are given some kind of allurements. See, Nepal as a country has many prospects, but still it is counted as one of the, it is struggling still to develop. There are a lot of problems, social economical problems that Nepal goes through, and due to which many a times the women in Nepal, they are in lieu of work, that they'll be able to work in some foreign country, and in exchange they might be able to earn well to support their families back in home. So many a times they are also allured, and they are, misrepresented, and by means of fraud they are taken to other countries, specifically in the Middle East. So definitely when they are taken by means of international airways or stuff like that. And that is why here the logic the government over there is trying to put in, that by this, if at all they have the permission of their from the ward office or from the guardian, then maybe the chances of some such illegitimate or illicit trafficking may be reduced. And then if we talk about the official records, and on an average 3 to 4 of the workers come back home dead every day. So you can really understand the situation, how it is really very grave. And while some others return penniless, sexually abused, and many times physically tormented as well. So yet, if we try to critically analyze, the intent behind the entire law is good, but the means that they are adopting to get to this particular goal is really not justified, because this will really put a bar on the freedom of the individualistic freedom, which is the basic right of every human, and the freedom of such women will be really hampered. So that is why, if at all Nepal government is thinking to stop this particular problem, which really should be stopped, so it should really think on some other grounds. Like for example, maybe the laws for immigration and for movement can be made stricter. The checking can be made stricter, and further better opportunities within the country will definitely hold back the women, and they'll not have to even travel to outside the world, to the outside world. So steps like this also can be taken by Nepal government instead of laws like this. So you can go through these statistics as well if you want to. Let's see, what do we have for news in flash. Oldest beer factory. So American and Egyptian archaeologists have unearthed what could be the oldest known beer factory at Abydos, which is an ancient burial ground located in desert west of Nile River. Now here, please also note down the location of Nile River, which primarily the countries does it flow through. So the biggest area is in the Egypt. So over 450 kilometers south of Cairo, which is the capital of Egypt. So the factory dates back to the region of King Narmer at the beginning of the first dynastic period, which was from 3150 BC to 2613 BC. So these are the some pictures that have come out of that particular beer factory, which once existed in Egypt. So a question can come up to you that recently, probably the oldest beer factory of the world has been excavated. So where has it been found? So it is in Egypt, Africa. Secondly, International Childhood Cancer Day. So it is observed on 15th February each year, founded in 2002 by Childhood Cancer International, which is a global network of 171 organizations in 88 countries. It was done to create awareness regarding their goal of reducing childhood cancer mortality and elimination of cancer-related pain and suffering. As we know that cancer is very prevalent, and even in children it is very prevalent, and that is why this day is brought up to memorize this thing and to do efforts in this particular direction. So this was all for the day. We hope it was a good session for you. Stay tuned with Lawseco for such more sessions to come. And if you wish to download the PDF of today's slides, you can join a Telegram group. The link is there in the description box below. Thank you so much.